You know why men die sooner than women? You know the old joke? Men die sooner than women because they choose to. You want to know what the reality is? Men die sooner than women because of women. That's what it is. That's what it is. Sorry, ladies. But some guys are better at dealing with your stuff. Like some guys are better with walking around on eggshells and, you know, all the things that they got to do to navigate around your emotions. Those are the guys that get married because they figure out how to navigate that. I'm not married, I'm single, so you're thinking I should have no problems with women. Well, the problem is you got women in your family. Like the women in my own family make me freaking crazy. Like to the point where I feel like I'm gonna have a coronary sometimes. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, oh crap. This guy's gonna turn right. This is the second time in 3 days with a student driver right in front of me. I stopped for it because I did the right thing, and now I'm already agitated, so yeah. Anyhow, I'm agitated. That's all. Men die sooner because of the women. There's a thing, man, with this whole. It's okay. I mean, as a man, I'm not supposed to complain. That's part of being a man, right? Is not complaining. So here I am. Somebody's going to give me some grief. You're complaining just like a girl. I put this stuff out there because I know it resonates. So a lot of you guys are going to be like, you're so right. It's the truth, man. It's just, especially with family, like if you know each other already, and you know what it is with me as a man. It's a big issue I have with women in general, because mostly I'm talking to women friends mainly. That's that, and I have a lot of female friends. And I'll tell you the thing about women versus men, and this is a known thing. I'm not dropping any new knowledge on you. It's you don't want to solve your problems. You just want somebody to bitch to. You want somebody to listen to you. While at the same time, you're probably not listening to anybody else. Now, they'll say women have great memories and all that, and that's true to a large degree. I have, not all women are the same, obviously, right? Some of them are, less emotional than others, but they're all emotional. On some level, you got to deal with that. And that's what you have to put up with. So if you're willing to put up with it, it's fine. It's just the emotions are not logical. So as a man, it's like, okay, if I've discussed something with you to the nth degree, a half a dozen friggin' times already, I expect wrongly, I'm totally wrong about this, I'm the one who's wrong. This is all my fault. Men, it's all your fault. It's all our fault because we think logically. We know that when we talk to our dude friends, and we've discussed something, and if it's come up again, but by the second or third time, we're already saying to our friend, like, bro, you've told me this shit already. Let's boom, bam. All right, you fucking deal with it. Not so with women. Women can talk about the same goddamn thing 1,000 times and make it seem like it's the first friggin' time you're talking about it. I can't talk about it anymore. I'm burnt the fuck out, man. If I tell you how something's going down, how I feel about something, whatever, I figure you got it. It's done. You move on to the next thing. No! With some women, you can never move on to the next thing. They're not going to let you move on to the next thing. They're going to keep holding shit over your friggin' head, right? I mean, it's a crazy thing. I'm basically talking about my sister. I love her, but she pisses me the fuck off, man. Holy shit. I mean, she can really piss me off. Because she just brings the stuff up, and it's like the only time that I can get through to her is if she's brought me to the point where I'm emotional. Like if she gets me talking about her mother or something, I get emotional and verklempt on the phone and all that, then everything's cool and she knows I have a heart. That's basically what it boils down to. This fucking game you gotta play with all women, where you gotta pretend, and it's not a pretend, it's real, but like I don't want to have to be drawn into an emotional state every single goddamn time I talk to her or any other woman. Don't want it. Don't want it. There's a reason I set my life up the way that it is. It's so that I don't have to deal with this bullshit. I got friends of mine that are married. They got complete separate rooms. You know why men build man caves? Or men have shops in the garage and all that? It's to get away from their woman, right? You know, it's never the woman that goes out for a pack of cigarettes and never comes back. It's the dude. It's the dude. You know why? Women. That's why. It's freaking crazy, man. It's crazy. What you want us to do for you, which is everything. It's everything. You want to feel safe around us. Yeah. You want us to make you feel safe. You want us to be the providers. That's good. You want us to be there to nurture you and support you. And that, of course, yeah, you're in love. You should be doing all those things. And if you're I don't even know how to talk about it. I don't know how to talk about it because every woman I know has a certain amount of this. But you know, the best women I know are the ones that are married and I know their husbands and they're like good guys, and nothing's perfect. Everybody has their issues. But that old adage, which goes with the other one, all the good ones are taken. Yeah. All the ones that have like whatever their crazy is, like their level of crazy, whatever that is tolerable. Or the benefits of being with that woman outweigh the negatives, right? You have to do that. You got to get a piece of paper out with somebody and write down all the positives and negatives. You never let them see that. You got to burn it afterwards. You know, because you can't. You know, women don't want to hear the truth. The only way you could tell a woman the truth is if you're coming at it from another woman's perspective, which means you have to engage in all the emotion of it. And even then, it's not going to work. I don't understand it. It's not worth it to me, the aggravation. I think some comic said decades ago, like it's a choice between being lonely or aggravated. I don't want to be aggravated. And fortunately, I don't have the lonely gene, so it works for me. And I have women in my life that are really cool. But A, they don't live near me usually, or B, there's other things about them that make it where like I could be their friend and I can love them as a human being and all that, but they don't do it for me. Like they don't turn my mind on the right way for me to want to have like a physical relationship, or at least, you know. So that's the problem. That's always been the problem. It hasn't always been the problem. I'm going to give you guys a little thing here. I'm going to really release now. You ready? You ready for this one? Because I had this epiphany, and it's come up in a couple conversations lately with friends, guy friends of mine. Because look, here's the thing. When I was young, I've been living alone since I was 14. And my mom was not the greatest person in the world. All right. I'm not trying to talk smack about her. People know me. People knew my mother. I got friends that knew my mom when I was a little kid. I'm still friends with today. They know. They were in the house. They saw it. And it was a fucked up situation. I'm not even going to tell you what my first memory is because it sounds horrible. But it involved her. So that was always a thing. And I had two younger sisters. I was the oldest, so I was taking care of them up until a point. And when my parents got divorced, I didn't want my thought was, I was 13 reading the papers, going to be 14, something like that. And I was old enough to choose who to go with. My initial thought was I didn't want my dad to be by himself. So I chose to go with him. That was what I was thinking. But what that meant was I was abandoning my sisters. There's a lot of guilt there because of that. All right. Now, I'm living alone, 14 years old. Some of you that watch me here have told me about like the pictures you see me when I was young, and they're like, man, you were a cute kid and blah, blah, blah. And I was a cute kid and girls liked me. And because I was raised with this way of thinking from my old man, which was nobody's better than anyone else. He literally held a rifle to my shoulder when I was 3. By the time I was 8, I could live in the woods with a knife and snare wire and fishing hooks and line and doing trout lines. I was fighting as a young kid, everything. I was on the streets, learning about life and figuring it out for myself. So I was in tough towns, Kearney and Patterson, places up in North Jersey, Clifton, shitholes. So at an early age, I was already really confident. And I was also raised to respect women, right? Like my mom, for as fucking crazy as she was and brutal as she was physically, mentally, and everything else, she was in some... I'm getting worked up. I hope I don't have a fucking heart attack here. Woo! She still raised me with manners and how to treat a woman and everything. As a matter of fact, when I was like 11... I found these books. It was like a 3 or 4 volume set on adolescence, and it was all about going through puberty, how your body changes, both boys and girls, and right up into like through adolescence and early adulthood and sex. It was all sex education, how it all works. It covered everything. It even covered dating, like opening the door for a girl, everything. It was amazing. I found them and I asked my mom, and she said, "Yeah, I bought those." So I'm not saying she's 100% bad. Nobody's 100% bad. Nobody's 100% bad. So anyhow, she gave me these books. So I was knowledgeable at an early age too. Now, jump forward to, and this is another crazy thing. Girls always liked me. Going all the way back to 4 years old, 5 years old. I remember being in kindergarten and these girls chasing me around the classroom and everything. It was always a thing. There was always a thing there. And every time I turned around as I got older, there was some girl smiling at me that wanted to make out or whatever. And so I just did it. And I thought that was normal. I didn't know what the difference was. I was literally having sex before I ever masturbated. I didn't even know you could masturbate. It was never a conversation I had with any of my friends. It's crazy. And the first several times I had sex, I wore a condom. So I never, this is a lot of information. So I never, this is going to be embarrassing, but I don't care. I never had an orgasm. So the first few girls I had sex with, I didn't know what the big deal was. And then the first time I didn't have sex without a rubber, holy shit. I'm seeing waves crashing in my mind. Tearing my whole goddamn truck apart. I'm seeing waves crashing in my mind. I'm like, okay, now I get it. Now I know what this is all about. But from like 14, 15 years old, I was having sex. And I was having a lot of sex with a lot of girls. And because I was living alone. So there was no guidance there. You understand? There was no guidance there. So, I was on the boardwalk as a kid. I'm not bragging about this, by the way. Personally, I haven't shared all this before because I find it embarrassing. I'm not proud of it, and I'm not bragging. I'm embarrassed by it. Because there were days when I was 15 years old, 16 years old, where I had sex with up to 3 girls in one day within a 24-hour period. That's crazy. That's insane. That's nuts. I thought all my buddies were doing it. And so over the last several years, as I talked to my friends going back, my buddy Todd just called me the other day. His birthday's the day after mine. We went to high school together. He was a great guy. Todd is funny to me because he used to egg me on to have sex with everybody. Why don't you hit that one, do that one? We just laughed about it. And one of the reasons why I feel like I didn't get ahead in life earlier on was because I was too busy fucking. That's all it was. It was just nonstop. It was constantly coming at me. And, who am I to turn anybody down? That was kind of my attitude. I didn't know what was... your life is your life. My life is my life. What's normal to you is normal. What's normal to me is normal. So the things I was doing was just happening. I wasn't even trying to make it happen. I really wasn't. That part of the reason why it would always happen is... because I never tried to make it happen. I was never pushy. I was never the pushy type. I was always like, hey, yeah, nice to meet you. Let's talk. Blah, blah. And hours goes by and you're not making that move. They get that thing in their mind. And then next thing you know, they're macking on you. Now you're doing it, man. You're just doing it. And this thing that used to happen, I actually had a bad idea of all women in my mind. I was wrong. It was an idea that was put there because I would go on a first date with somebody and we would have sex the first time. And I'd walk away from that thinking, if she's having sex with me the first time, is she having sex with everybody? I just thought every girl I met was a slut, which was fine. I prefer sluts over whores. If you don't know the difference, whores will have sex with you because they want something from you. They're going to gain something financially or tactily. They're going to get a thing from you, whatever. They're doing it for a purpose. There's a plan, you know. The girls that just like to get it on, they're fun. They're just like you. So that's what I thought. And what changed my mind, or started to change my mind, was back when social media happened. MySpace and then Facebook. You know, I'm going back over 20 years ago. I started having these like new thoughts like, wait a second. Because these girls were sending me their friends requests. And a lot of these girls were girls I came up with, that I slept with one time or a couple times or whatever. But I'm cool, so we always still remain friends. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm friends with most of their husbands, everything. We all get along. And so many of these girls have great lives and great husbands and kids, families, everything, you know. I mean, nothing's perfect. But that's when it hit me. Wait a second. They weren't just fly-by-night floozies. They were good girls. What is this? What did I extrapolate from this? What I gained from this was I wasn't giving myself enough credit. I didn't realize that they were opening themselves up to me because of me. Because I never gave myself that much credit. You'll hear people talk about me as a youngster thinking I was conceited. I was never conceited. I was just confident. There's a difference. And that's oftentimes misunderstood by people that don't have the confidence. The other people don't have the confidence, think you're just conceited. But the reality was I was confident in walking around with everybody else thinking nobody's better than anyone else, which hurt me in the service, by the way. You can't have that fucking attitude. So, but I didn't give myself the credit. I didn't understand that I had that sense of humor and I was charming and that I never found myself that attractive. Honestly, I never thought of myself as that. I did things that I wanted to do for my own personal reasons, like throwing weights around, things like that, because it made me strong. Most of that was so I could defend myself against fucking assholes. Now, you know what the problem is when girls like you? Guys are jealous. So going all the way back to being 5 years old, I'm fighting because girls like me. It's another fucking problem with women. You get attention from women. The other guys are jealous. They screw at you because they wish they possessed the qualities that you have, right? So my whole life I've been getting into fights because of women. It's fucking, yeah. So you understand what I'm saying here? So I had the wrong idea, you know, because I wasn't giving myself enough credit. And all of this is because I was living alone. And I didn't come from a loving, nurturing family, normal family. So I guess the lesson here is, you know, if you're going to have kids, you really got to work on staying together so that they're properly nourished mentally and emotionally and all those things. Those are all important things. But holy shit, man. This fucking shit's crazy. It's crazy. I don't even know if I said everything I was talking about with some of my friends, but that whole thing with the amount of women that come through my life is really, it's like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I just didn't understand. I thought that was normal. You know, one of these days, and I've been working on it, I'm going to do the comedy thing. And this whole discussion right here, because I can make this very funny, kind of raunchy, and because I've had a lot of experience. I listened to Cat Williams the other day, and, you know, the beginning of his set is rocky until he started talking about pussy. That's it. That's all. It just became about that. And there was a lot of funny stuff there. And I'm listening to it and I'm going, dude, I could top everything you just said. I've got multiple stories of every topic or every point that he made just about the vagina. Tons of them. Like I could do material. I could probably do an hour or more right now off the cuff on that subject. I could do it several times in a row and add new things to it each time. That's how much experience I have with it. It's ridiculous. Again, not proud of that. Not bragging. I'm embarrassed by it. Embarrassed by it. Women, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just one good one would be nice. That's cool. Doesn't make me jump through a bunch of emotional hoops. Kept her figure, you know. Likes me as much as I like her. Wants to nourish me as much as I want to nourish her. Doesn't, you know, dump all her shit on me on a regular basis. Like, a normal amount is okay. It's fine. It's totally fine. But the same shit over and over and over again. Now, you've heard me say this before. If I hear myself complain about something enough, which usually only takes a few times, I change my life. I make a change so I don't have to listen to myself complain about it. Women don't do that. It's like some of you do. Some of you do. The ones I'm dealing with right now don't do it. They make life choices that makes their life harder. I suppose there's men that do this too. But the people I'm thinking about right now is they made life choices that made their lives more difficult to navigate. Then they complain about that all the time and how tough their life is. Why they can't change it. Never made any change. But they still keep complaining about it. I can only take so much of that. And if you're related to somebody who has that story, you're fucked. Because that's all you have. That's it. You're forced. You have to listen to that over and 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 over again and again and again and again. All right, that's it. I talked to Wonder Hussy yesterday. I think I'm going out there for President's Day. I think that's the 19th, so it'll be the Saturday before that, the 17th, for a swap meet thing in Tacoma. So if you want to see me, you want to see her, that could change. You know, she told me, she gave me a warning about it. She said, you know, the town could all be thrown off the guy's property. He's a little volatile, so that could change, but that's the plans. And then I got a road trip in March with a friend who's coming down from Canada, and that should be fun and exciting for you guys. So I got to calm down. I do have a little weird feeling here. That's all I need. I'm a pretty healthy guy, but gee whiz, man. Women will drive you to have a friggin' coronary, man. I'm telling you. That's exactly what happened to my dad. 8 friggin' heart attacks. Have a good day. Be good to one another. Maybe I'll catch you in the next one. Maybe I probably just lost a bunch of people here. Whatever.